Good evening and welcome to tonight's first presidential debate live from the University of Virginia. Thank you for watching tonight's presidential debate hosted by MSNBC. I'm Michael Smith, tonight's moderator. Thank you for watching tonight's debate. Now, I want to go ahead and get into this debate tonight. I'm sorry about that, taking a little while. And my name is Michael Smith, I'm moderator for tonight. We want to welcome you to the debate stage here in Virginia. This is the first and only presidential debate hosted by MSNBC between all three presidential participants. Tonight's debate is sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates, a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization. The commission drafted tonight's format, and the rules have been agreed to by the campaigns. Now, this race has gotten tighter and tighter over the last few weeks. A lot of shakeups have happened. A lot of new things have happened. But over the time, we have been there and we have been watching you. With our man Foley gaining some extreme heat in the polls, the numbers are being calculated and he is on his tail. As well as the newcomer, Technozo, who is really trying to fight for the hearts and minds of the former Noosa voter. We're going to see how Technozo does tonight as he promises to crush his other opponents in tonight's debate, but we will soon see. But right now, I do want to let everyone know as a disclaimer that our man Foley or a con artist could not make it to tonight's debate. Their VPs will be in their place tonight. Unfortunately, Armin has some really screwed up schedule, but other than that, that is the debate tonight. So introducing your first presidential contender for tonight's debate, William P. Nixon. As well as a con artist running mate, Mitch Matrix. And finally, Technozo. Good evening, everyone. Thank you much for joining. How are all of you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for participating. Okay, so I want to start with the crime epidemic that has been taking over America in the last few days. Now, I've asked some of you all actually in previous debates about this, but I want to reiterate this question for our viewers. Now, the first question I have for you is, how do you plan to deal with the current crime epidemic we have in America, the lack of police, and the lack of emergency services we currently have in LA, and the robberies? I mean, our crime is through the roof. I mean, how do you plan to deal with crime? Go ahead and start, Technozo.
I'm sorry, how many minutes do we have for this?
Sorry, you have 1 minute.
Okay, got it. Just give me a sec. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for tonight's debate. This is really an honor, and I'm glad that University of Virginia is hosting tonight's debate. Look, crime is definitely a big thing that people are thinking about. I'm going to give a different answer in that we don't have enough crime. We don't have enough gangs around the streets. Look, we have to build an active base, right? All these candidates who are sitting on the stage right here, or, the VPs technically, they haven't really acknowledged it. But look, this is good for the base. This is good for the country. And we ought to have an active base here. We don't have a super active base. We have to build a hyperactive base. And in order to do that, we need more crime. Now, yes, we need to have emergency services. So my plan would be constantly recruiting, constantly tryouts, and more activity in the Discord. If we utilize the Discord, that is our key to making this base great. But right now, we're not seeing that under the incumbent president. And the Speaker of the House hasn't even hosted that many sessions. So why do we trust him? Thank you.
Yeah, a rebuttal to that comment, William.
Well, I have said it before many times that we do need crime for activity in the game, and I thought we've covered this session thing, Tech. But to keep it simple, Michael, I think recruitment and good leadership is the only tools we need to have to combat this crime epidemic.
Really good. Okay, thank you, William. Would you like to elaborate more on that, or was that all you had?
Well, we need to get good leadership through the next administration. Once the ticket's out, the administrative ticket's out, and leadership is designated as acting, they need to get in after the transition, and they need to recruit. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
We need more law enforcement officers.
Okay. That's
Can
very.
I just
Go ahead,
Can
Technozo. You have a 30-second rebuttal period.
Thank you. So as we can see, right, they're just absolving the plans that I had, right? They haven't really brought any new ideas, right? I was the one who gave the specifics first, and now they're copying my ideas. Why not just go? Excuse me, I'm
I
talking.
disagree.
I'm
Copy
finishing up,
ideas.
right? I get an extra 2 seconds,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah. Go ahead. You have 5 more seconds.
Right, I gave the specifics here, right? So this is why you're going to vote for us today. We've given the specifics here consistently throughout this campaign, and that's why you're going to vote for us.
Mitch, you have a rebuttal to what he just said. 30 seconds.
All right. Well, I never got to make my initial statement, so I'll make
But
that
go
now.
ahead. Yeah, you
I wanted
actually. I'm
to-
sorry. You have a minute and 30 seconds for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to take the chance to say hello to all the viewers. I also want to thank tonight's moderator, Michael A.R. Smith. Getting straight to business, crime. We've seen plenty of crime within AR, and I don't believe that we'll see a slowdown, especially with tonight's elections around the corner. What we need to do is coordinate with law enforcement, specifically the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI, who've been working their asses off to prevent crime. To the criminals tonight and in the foreseeable future, I say bring it.
That's an interesting statement there. Anybody want a rebuttal to that?
I actually agree with you.
Okay, go ahead, Technozo. 30 seconds.
I agree with that, Mitch.
Okay.
And that's good. And see, this is why we need people like Mitch who are running the show. The problem is that look, I've been the one who's been consistent. I have the results to prove it. Mitch is a nice guy, nothing against him. I have a lot of respect. We both work together in NUSA. But why not go with the former NUSA president who had a 91% approval rating on foreign relations and had a 90% approval rating on everything else? That's where you're going to vote. I delivered results for NUSA, and that's what I'm going to do here, right? My work doesn't finish at the front door, and that's why people respect me, and that's why they're going to elect me.
Okay, thank you, Technozo. Okay, that is the end of that question. Let's move on to another topic because I believe we're going to be doing something similar to this coming up. So we're going to stay on crime and we're going to stay on the police because this is an issue that is driving the election. Obviously, it is. So let's talk about the police, fire, etc., the robbing. How do you plan to deal with gangs and the innocent attack on civilians and the lack of a police force? Should we have police? Should we not have police? Should we just have this privately owned? What are your thoughts about that? Go ahead and start, Mitch. A minute.
Well, as I've said before in the vice presidential debates, yet again I'm here. But I would like to say that 100% people have the right to make their own private businesses or whatever they feel like in terms of security, or if they want to do this or do that. Gangs, I mean, they're an essential part of the game, realistically, and that's all good and fine. But the truth is, of course, there should be police. We need police to keep the game going, and we also need criminals to keep the game going, and that's just the bare truth. But the thing about it is that in this next administration, what we need to do is, like I said before, we need to continue to rebuild these departments, especially the Department of Homeland Security. Not too long ago, the Department of Homeland Security, it wasn't said, too much. Nothing was too much about the topic, but it was recently admin abused not too long ago by former Homeland Security, Secretary of Homeland Security, Mifsites. And the thing about that is that not only did it mess up the autonomy of the group, but it, got some things shuffled up. So what we need to do is rebuild the high command of Department of Homeland Security and elsewhere, but primarily right now focusing on Homeland Security because domestically, they're, the most important when it comes to crime. And as for the FBI and every other agency out there that, defends us against crime. I believe that they are doing just a fine job. We of course need to continue hiring, but other than that, it's pretty much all I have.
Thank you, Mitch. Okay, William, should we have police? You have a minute as well.
Well, Michael, as I've said time and time again since LA came out on MSNBC, when we're talking about crime, we need to create a healthy balance. There needs to be crime, obviously, and there needs to be police, but we don't want to end crime indefinitely. We need to keep it going. We need to better protect our citizens, and to do that, we do need, it all comes back to recruitment of more law enforcement officers.
Okay, thank you, William. Okay, 1 minute as well for you, Technozo. Should we have police in Los Angeles?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So first of all, I'm really ashamed at the fact that the candidates did not answer the question, specifically the leading presidential candidate. Look, you specifically asked about private police. We ought to vehemently oppose any privatization of police. Okay, when I was in NUSA, right, all the private companies were like run like Paul's Mafia, right? We can't have that in AR, right? We have to vehemently come out as candidates and unifyingly oppose that, right? So that's what I would do. But also, I'm also disappointed, particularly at the leading presidential candidate, for not involving the Department of Defense. Yes, Matrix, you're absolutely right. We should have Homeland Security. But Armand, why don't we have a Department of Defense? Why can't we invoke martial law? We are sending them to Russia, but why don't we have them in the homeland as well? Why don't we have them patrolling the streets of AR, right? We got to have conflict. The base is not going to thrive without drama. If we don't have drama, this base is not going to be here for much longer.
I want to, I think that's a good point, because I want to say that wouldn't someone argue that the point of having Homeland Security is to deal with Homeland Matters? Your thoughts about that, and I'm going to ask everybody else that question. Should we be using Homeland Security for Homeland Matters and leaving the military for just world affairs? Your thoughts about that, Tech, and you have a minute to answer that, and then William and Matrix can answer that as well.
Okay, so that's a good question. So firstly is we ought to have a national draft, okay? When everybody here becomes 18 years old, right? You have to sign up for the draft in order to get financial aid, right? That's exactly how Roblox should work, okay? We're acting like adults, we're role-playing like adults. We ought to have a national draft, right? Now, secondly, to answering about your question about the role of the military. Look, the military has to be on standby for everything. I would enroll them in Remind, which is what teachers use to remind their kids about homework. Every single NUSA citizen is not only going to be registered for the draft, but they're going to be on standby 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that way we can call them for any situation that we might have, right? Let's say we want to go overthrow a country at 4 a.m, right? I can wake you up like that. And that's what we ought to do. We have to, again, going back to the theme, we have to give the base drama. If the base doesn't have drama, they're going to leave. They're going to go somewhere else. Why can't people understand that, right? Ought to not be fuzzy. We have to be interesting and exciting. And that's what Armand isn't doing. He's becoming boring and just offering people jobs. That's why he's almost got under indictment by the U.S. attorney.
Okay, William, respond to that. You have 45 seconds.
Well, I think that's pretty defamatory, Tech. And to speak to the Department of Defense, I've been passionate about calling on President Bayan to invoke martial law and to petition Congress to suspend habeas corpus in order to bypass posse comitatus to deploy the military on American soil to combat crime. I've tweeted it the first day LA was out.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, you have 50 seconds.
Okay, I want to repeat. The campaign of Armand Foley is under investigation for offering people jobs. They cannot offer people jobs. They're under investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Now, second, in regards to martial law, look, right? They don't want to admit it, but look, everybody in this call knows that if we don't have drama, the base dies, right? That's why people are always obsessed about bacon hair people. Not because it's a fad or it's interesting or we hate it. They love it because it's drama. We need more drama. That's what we need in this group.
I want to ask this now.
I never got a chance to actually respond.
Okay, Mitch, you have 35 seconds.
All right, so I agree wholeheartedly with Technozo in the fact that this group runs on drama, just like a lot of other groups, but especially American Roleplay runs on drama. And the truth is that why I don't 100% believe that we should be constantly putting our military on domestic soil to fight our battles because we have the FBI, Secret Service, Homeland Security. But I do believe that in dire situations, the military should be used. The military should be focused on protecting our country abroad. We have Homeland Security for domestic issues. We must keep law, and it's only half of law and order. We won't have activity unless our agencies can step up to these problems. It cannot always be the military. The military has a different usage, and we cannot afford to lose activity from our agencies at all.
Okay, I get your point on that. Technozo, you have 50 seconds.
Okay, 50 seconds?
Correct.
Okay, got it. So, firstly, right. So, I agree with Matrix here. However, we have to go further. Let's go into specific. That's what the debate is about, right? I specifically outlined the draft with respect to Mr. Matrix here. He's talking about all these agencies like FBI and Secret Service. I don't see them in American roleplay. I don't see them in Los Angeles, right? Look, we have to understand, and Matrix acknowledged this. This group runs on drama. I am the only candidate who has balls to say that crime is good and we need to have people ready at 4 in the morning. If I call you up and text you at 4 in the morning, the military ought to be ready, okay? We need drama. We need scheduled drama, and that's what we need to do. And I'm the only person who's ready to say it, honestly. And that's why we need somebody like me who's going to keep this group active and for many more years to come, not like Noosa.
Okay, Tech, I get what you're saying there. I want to ask this because there's a question that I know I'm getting from my viewers, and I know that many people do have on their mind, is that if we say crime is good, which some is, should groups like the Bacon Hares that are spawn killing, that are innocently killing people, that aren't doing what's supposed to be done, that are jailed, etc., etc., just the nonsense of it, should that be allowed in Noosa? Should that be, I'm sorry, Noosa, AR? You got me confused, Technosa.
Yeah, that's a good question. Can I get a minute for this?
Yeah, go ahead and get a minute on that, because you say crime is good, and I'm going to ask everybody this as well. Should groups like the Bacon Hares, just the radical group, be allowed in our country? Go ahead and answer that. You have a minute.
I have a good response to that, right? The Speaker of the House can pass a resolution declaring war on the Bacon Hares. How come they haven't done that? How come the House is in session to do that? The problem is that Armand is sitting here. He has such a great job. He's the most powerful person in Congress. And Michael, if what you're saying is correct, why don't you ask him? Why don't you ask him? What is he doing about the Bacon Hares? And here we have an incumbent president who is the biggest lame duck. He literally merged into the Bacon Hares campaign, right? Mm-hmm. All these people, they're conducting an inside job, and they're trying to prevent me from winning the presidency. On day one, if these allegations are true, I will launch a 3-day FBI investigation, and we will cut down on these Bacon Hare people right away. I will send the military in. We will not go into any foreign country until these Bacon Hares are eradicated. We're going to do professional extermination. We're going to get chemicals. We're going to do everything it takes to get rid of these people off our streets.
All right.
And while we're at it,
go ahead, Mitch. You have 35 seconds, Mitch. You can go ahead and talk.
While we're at prosecuting crime, let's really talk about it. Let's talk about how Armand, right? Let's talk about how Armand secretly and silently rigged majority elections in the House played against the rules to help himself win. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how the group managers of the game had to come and tell Armand himself, hey, stick to the rules because you can't do this. How is he playing so corrupt so early in the game that the group managers had to tell him to slow down? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. William Rebel, you have 1 minute.
Well, I think that's quite an exacerbation you've spun it into there. The issue is Armin closed the majority leader election after a majority was reached in the House. However, it was before 24 hours after the vote. So the loser of the election, attorney, complained about it.
Okay, Mitch, go ahead. I'm going to let you all have open time on this.
All right, sounds great. All right, so if that's the case, then why are group managers contacting Armand saying that what he's doing is, well, of course, corrupt? And not only that, but how is he contradicting the rules that he made himself? He helped make these rules, correct? So then why is he contradicting them? Why is he already breaking them? Why is he being so corrupt so early in the game? And, just to backtrack, let's talk about how a con artist is the only one promoting activity, as shown by his Bacon Hair Foundation, all right? This Bacon Hair Foundation, yes, despite the controversies, one, it brings activity to the game. Despite the criticism, he's promoting drama and activity, just like Technosis just suggested, just like I suggested. Unlike others, he spends a majority of his time at the game and has created an effective Senate using custom-made bots that he's built.
Also Matrix. Let me just add something into right? So Liam, you didn't use the time to respond to the fact that there has nothing being done in the House. Again, you're sitting on this cushy job, right? What have you done with this job, right? If the bacon hairs are so bad, why aren't you doing anything about this, right?
Yeah. So I want to just know. I want to interrupt you, Tech. I'm gonna let you all have open time. This is gonna be a 5-minute discussion period. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So here we have an incumbent president. He has not done anything. He's not showing leadership. And Armand says he's going to show leadership. Armand is not in a position where he does not have a job. He's the Speaker of the House. If the president and the vice president die today, they get struck by lightning tomorrow, bam, Armand steps into the job. How are we seeing Armand do this? What is he doing right now? He's doing nothing to stop these bacon hairs. Michael is saying that they're spawn killing. What are you doing? You're just sitting there. You've hosted only 2 House sessions. And even by Noosa standards, that's pathetic. Do you have any response to that?
I do, actually. I've said it 3 times already. I don't know why you can't seem to comprehend it. He's only been able to have quorum to have a session since the last House election, right? 3 weeks or less. 2 sessions. That's not
3
that
weeks
bad.
is not enough?
Okay. You gonna answer that, William?
I wholeheartedly agree.
Go ahead, Mitch.
3 weeks, 2 sessions. I think. I mean, I don't have words.
Okay. You guys can continue with what's going on. I don't know what William was doing.
Well, look, I think honestly, I think we just have to have this in the record. You know, we've had no response.
The entire time in the Senate, yet Akon's only held 1 session.
Okay, but you're not just going against Akon. You're going against me too. And plus, you have a record. You guys have a record. You guys are sitting there in the House. You have control over the House. You can look. Let's just say this, right? You guys come tomorrow and you guys pass a resolution, right? Akon doesn't pass it. You can blame him. The problem is you guys have only had 2 sessions and you guys are not addressing the current crisis. We have a vacuum of leadership, and that's why we need an outsider like me who's going to come in and fix the mess. That's what we need.
We don't need an outsider who's gonna come in and fix the mess. All right, let's really talk about it just for a second. All right, Liam, I'll go to you. I'll stick off Armand for a little bit. I want to talk about you, right? As his vice president, you have a certain standard, right, that you're held to. You have a certain, par and level that you're put to, some standards that are held. Let's talk about how Liam proposed the bill that attacked the freedom of the press, right? The bill that created a task force that oversaw the press to make sure they weren't, quote unquote, spreading fake news.
Well, that's fake news right there because I didn't propose anything of the like.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Go find it.
All right.
You won't.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, I will.
Let's find it.
do so.
Pull it up. Yeah. I'm sure I know
Just a
what I
moment, buddy.
did, Mitch.
Just
You might
a
not
moment,
know
my
it,
brother.
but I did.
Just a moment, my brother.
They're just spectating. So look, what we have on the record, to those viewers who are watching at home, right? We have the record that has been set straight, right? They have the House. They haven't done anything. They're not even bragging about what they're doing in these 2 sessions. They might have done the most thing. The fact is that they're not handling the current crisis. They're not handling it. They're not even doing anything. It's not even a matter of going after the bacon hairs or supporting them. The fact is that we have no action here. So again, right? Wow, what proven record of leadership can we count on to put Armand in the position of the presidency? I just don't get it, all I'm hearing throughout this entire debate is talk, right? When I was president, when the UN tried to take over our agreement with Russia, I stood up there. I got the UK, who was unfriendly with me, to block it. They used their permanent 5 veto to block it, right? I took action right away. Here we have a Speaker of the House not even doing anything, and we have Bindy Hand Filipino, again, lame duck president, who literally merged somebody else's campaign, didn't even take a VP job, and he's not even doing anything either, right? That's why we need an outsider. That's why we need somebody who's going to really fix up the mess, right? The record speaks for itself. Hey, numbers don't lie, man. They're out on the street going bang, 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 bang. And what are we doing here? What are we doing? We're having group management, doing server startups.
I personally believe that we need a leader who's forceful, one that's going to fight back, one that's going to be there. And this might sound contradictory, but Armand isn't even here. His vice president, if voted into the office, the highest office in which we have, his vice president will practically be running the country. Let's be real. Let's be honest. From the way
Yeah,
it seems,
exactly. Just like
Armand
Kamala
isn't
Harris is running the country. Hey, it's just like Joe Biden, right? The guy doesn't even put
We
two
all
words
know
together.
Joe Biden is
Sleepy
sleepy.
Joe, Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy. He is sleepy. All right, guys. I'm going to continue this. I'm going to extend the open period for 2 minutes. Now, I want to talk to you about, I want to give you a question for this open period. Now, this is talking about foreign policy. Let's move to foreign policy now.
Okay, can we please stop screaming?
Yeah. Now,
Thank you.
let's talk about foreign policy. Now, I can't promise you that. Let's talk about foreign policy. Now, what are your plans for our military? Now, you talk about a lame duck president, Bayan Filipino. He has not really handled the current European, Ukrainian, Russian situation very well. Because as I've noticed, he probably could have gotten a higher approval rating if he would have handled the situation a bit better than what he did. But that's neither here nor there. What are your thoughts about this current situation? What would you do? And how are you going to expand or shrink the military? Are we going to increase military spending? Things like that. What are your plans for the military? I'm going to start with you, Technozo.
Okay, thank you. How many minutes do I get for this?
Since it's open period, open quorum, it's just going to be 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes. Got it.
For
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks.
Okay, so look, the military is absolutely really one of the brightest spots going on right now. Look, unfortunately, look, hey, Biney Hand, how's it going? Look, they're really the only guys who are really doing anything, right? Look, Carl was my sec dev when I was NUSA president. He was a really good sec dev. I would keep him around. Look, we have to really build up our military. There's no question about it. I gave the specific of the draft. I said we need a draft. We need to put everybody on a remind-styled application like your high school teachers might do to remind you of homework assignments, right? This is what we need to do, okay? We have to have everybody interconnected. Okay, listen. What if AR ends up being like a small group of 10 people, right? We have to still keep each other together. We're a community, for God's sake, And the only way we can do that is by one, signing up everybody for a draft, two, putting everybody on remind, and three, doing constant military operations. Again, the constant theme behind what I am promoting throughout this debate is more drama, right? I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat and say, I'd like peace throughout the world, and we got to be peaceful with all the row nations. We got to get along with the Security Council, suck everybody up, right? No, that's not my thing, right? Okay? Drama is really the key to the game here, right? If people are going to come back in nations, choose our group, right? Because they have a decision, right? It's not like a country in real life where you say, hey, Trump's elected, I got to move to Canada, right? How many people actually do that? Not many, exactly, right? But here on Roblox, you'd be surprised. Hey, people are ready to pack up, right? They do something stupid, man, they're going to pack up like that, right? So look, the fact is, we have to create a value proposition for people, the constant drama, signing up people for the draft, really doing a lot of operations. If we do that, that's going to be our key to really winning and redefining our position in this row nation space. Row nations, unfortunately, are not doing very well as it stands. After Nusa died, there was really a big vacuum that was left, unfortunately, due to that dictator Paul, who, I was really surprised he did that, honestly. He has no plans to fix DC. But we have Los Angeles. We have a great dev team. We have group management. We need to ride on this momentum that we have, and having a lame duck Speaker of the House, President pro temp, president, it's not really going to help us. We literally have one of the best scripters on planet Earth helping us out. We have a great group manager who can only be described as our modern Roblox political genius, Bernard, in charge of group management, and Ritual. And here we have an active political base. That's why we need outsiders to come in with me.
One artist has consistently given bots produce new technology to give to this group, to this new functioning group. And to be honest, AR is still small, but the AR definitely has potential. In terms of the military, I plan on massively expanding the military. I want a military myself and Akon can count on by the minute, by the second. We will have a sec def with big balls who will do what is necessary to keep our nation safe.
Okay, William, respond, and we're going to take a quick break.
Well, just to hang back a bit here, Michael. Anyway, to hang back a bit here, Michael, I would have to say that a draft to forcibly enlist people into the military doesn't create drama or incentive, it creates disinterest. And to go on to Armin and our defense plans, we need to massively boost our military's technology. Rock has some seriously good stuff coming out. We need to get NASA off the ground. Once each branch is operational with 50 active duty personnel in each, we'll be launching new branches, the National Guard Bureau, Space Force, things like that, Michael.
Can I respond? Can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead. You have a 45-second respond point, and then after you're done, we're taking a quick break.
Thank you. So, it's interesting Liam mentioned this. So he says the draft is bad. So here we have somebody who literally, again, look, I'm signed up for the draft, right? I have to, otherwise I don't get financial aid for college, right? So we have a person right
in real life.
Excuse, I'm talking. I get another 5 seconds from him interrupting. I get another 5 seconds. So, look, he's saying the draft is a bad idea. Again, we have to create more drama, right? And look, if he doesn't want to sign up for the draft, good. But let's see how broke he's going to be when he goes to college, if he doesn't sign up for the draft. Because everybody's got to sign up for the draft. It's not optional, right? Second, with technology, again, no specifics here, right? What is he going to do with NASA? Is he bringing back Lord Death, the Reaper, from the dead? He's not going to do that. He's just, throwing around stuff. He has no plan. He's not going to do anything. I have specifics here. I literally said we're going to do a draft. He's calling that bad. He's only saying philosophically, oh, it's a bad thing. He's not saying specifically
let me
why
say
it's a bad
specifically why it's bad. You're not giving me a chance to talk
Listen,
here
while we're
either.
on this topic,
Okay, first I want to ask William actually now. Okay, Mitch, go ahead and ask, and I'm going to ask my questions after the break. Go ahead.
While we're on this topic, Armand has never, ever looked at the military. The only thing he's going to do is use it as a platter to give out free positions, as he's done plenty of times before, to secure his presidency seat. Khan has been a diplomat and helped rally the international community during the Russia conflict in AR, where everyone condemned them. Let me get something straight. Armand is an inexperienced politician who only likes the idea of running for president. Don't get me wrong, Armand makes an amazing candidate to be presidency of the United States. Let me tell you something. He's good at running for president, but if he were to actually be president, he would be nothing more than a fraud. Brian, shut up. You had to drop out because you you don't want me to say anything else. You don't want me to say anything else. You don't want me to say anything else, my brother. You Asian bastard. You don't want me to say anything else.
Excuse me, Matrix.
Okay.
Can I add on to that?
You have a 15-second respond period, and
Thank
then
you. So,
that's it.
Got it. So look. So Armand is under investigation by the United States Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney for literally bribing people. Is that somebody you want? Somebody who's coming into the president on the risk of indictment? If you don't want that, vote Technozo. Because I didn't offer anybody jobs. Only my VP candidate, which that's legal, by the way, because everybody does it.
Okay, William, you have a 10-second respond period.
Well, I'd like to say to Technozo, why doesn't he burden himself with providing proof of what he's saying?
Excuse me? So can I respond? He's asking me for proof.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Okay, I don't need to provide proof. It's a sealed indictment. It's literally happening right now. The Attorney General, you can ask Bineyhand, right? The Attorney General answers to him. Bineyhand, tell us. Go ahead. Is Armand under investigation?
Let me go ahead and turn him on. Okay, all right. Go ahead and talk now, Bineyhand. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's under investigation. Definitely under investigation for
Thank you.
bribery.
Do you need more
and
proof?
also,
Do you apologize?
Well, that sounds like a political issue. I'm sure there's a lot in the U.S. code to say that a sitting president can't investigate a presidential candidate.
I'm not
during
investigating it.
presidential
The
election.
DOG is, you fucking idiot.
Word.
Bitch, do I look like Sherlock Holmes to you, dumbass bitch?
Alrighty, bye.
Oh, wow. Well, this debate is going off perfectly. Well, the debate will continue here live from the University of Virginia with, guess what? No crowd. The debate will continue in 60 seconds, 60 to 100 seconds. We'll be right back with more of the debate on NBC News and on NBC local stations. Good evening and welcome back to tonight's presidential debate. We thank you for joining us and we thank you for your current viewership this evening. All right, so we're going to continue back where we left off this evening on tonight's debate. And we're going to be talking about Israel, the West Bank, and its current assault on Palestine, which is a very interesting topic. So I want to ask all of you, now this is a question that came in from a viewer. Actually, now this is from the Washington Post. The current administration supports the state of Israel despite its committing flagrant abuses against Arab citizens of Israel in its game in the West Bank. Like this video. Watch this video on your screen, please. It's showing the assault of Arabs in the West Bank. Please watch. Video's coming on your screen. Here we go. Okay, so that was one of the videos of some of the things that the Israel is doing to attack Arab citizens in the West Bank, which is frankly pretty interesting. So let's start with Mitch. Mitch, will an Akon administration continue to support Israel? Will it support a strong U.S. ally, or go to Palestine or somewhere else. We'll just no one at all. What are your thoughts about that? Will you continue to support Israel? This will be an open quorum period for 5 minutes. Anyone can rebuttal or respond with no limit. 5 minutes. Mitch.
As we've said before, I believe that the next Akon administration will support the Israelis in whatever happens next. Being a new
Okay. I
All
think
right,
did you
all
cut
right.
out? Go ahead.
Oh no, no! Oh, you can't hear Bubber Culture in the background. Oh,
Oh,
my
I
apologies,
can.
Michael R. Smith.
Sorry.
Yes, yes, yes. He
Go ahead.
rudely interrupted me. I apologize.
Go ahead. Talk. I
Yes.
can't hear him.
So, like we said, we support the Israelis in anything they do, going forward. Going into the next administration, Akon and I will continue to be hard on Russia, and if necessary, propose sanctions, on whatever they plan on doing in the future. I'll pass this question off.
William, will you continue to support Israel? Okay, William is not. All right. So skipping on to Technoza. Technoza. Will a Technoza administration continue to support Israel?
Well, Michael, thank you so much for asking me this question. And foreign relations really a big forte for me when I so 91% of voters specifically approved of my foreign policy handlings. I've gone to the UN. I've dealt with nice nations, not so nice nations. So I have the experience when it comes to that, and voters in NUSA really never distrusted me on any decision involving international affairs. Now, there are several things we decision. So first is we have to have a competent staff. We need to have a really good White House chief of staff. I know people who can get that job done, as well as a good Secretary of State and a good State Department who can really handle affairs. Because looking at just 10 seconds of video footage really is not like enough of a burden of proof. I mean, it might be good to go to like NUSA court or something like that.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of foreign relations, of many different consequences, probably not a good idea. So I would gather really good minds and really make a good determination based on that. And I think one of the big things to really highlight is that we're very fortunate that we're in a good, relatively good United Nations where there are not a lot of toxic players. I've dealt with a lot of like toxic United Nations. It's really not that fun at all. So dealing with the good United Nations who we can reason with that isn't going to try to strong arm us is really going to be important going forward here. Now,
I 100% agree.
Okay,
now
Mitch. Okay, go ahead, check and Mitch, you can respond. Actually, you know what? This is open quorum, so anyone can respond or rebuttal.
Now, one of the things that I ought to bring up about the presidential candidates here, I can't really speak to Mitch's experience because I haven't seen him in an executive capacity. I'm sure he might be fine. But in regards to Armand, right? Look, this in real life, this would warrant some type of a statement, some type of condemnation or something like that. I mean, Michael, if you have this video footage, shouldn't Armand have this video footage? Shouldn't he be doing something about it? Shouldn't he be making a statement or some kind of censorship, like, censoring or Israel or Palestine? The problem is that is sitting on his job, he's sitting in a comfortable pair of shoes, and he's not doing anything with it, right? If I were president, if I saw that video footage, I would release a statement day one, at least acknowledging that, right? Seeing that. Problem is, Armand never did it. I don't know if this administration has done it, but look, again, right? Armand literally is Speaker of the House, right? It's very influential foreign policy-wise, even though it's not in the executive branch. So again,
He's influential in the wrong ways.
Where is the reaction from the congressional branch, honestly, of our government, the legislative branch? Where are we seeing that? They're like MIA, missing in action, right? We tell them about a foreign policy friend, they're probably going to be like, foreign what? What are you going to do, right? Problem is, they're not experienced. They have no idea. They're not getting briefings. They're not asking questions. See, here's the thing, Michael. In life, in order to solve a problem, first you have to acknowledge it and you got to ask good questions. They're not even doing those two basic steps. Not only
really unfortunate, right?
Not only are they not in shape to solve this problem, how do we trust them to do a proper decision-making planning for all the other problems that American role play is going to go through? We can't because they don't do it. You know, how do they make decisions? I'll tell you how they make decisions. They make decisions based on, hey, if I can give this person this job, what will they do for me? Can they bring in 5 more their names or clicks, right? And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. And that's why Armand's campaign, again, Armand is under federal indictment by the United States Attorney General and the District Attorney's Office right now as we speak. They're going through this evidence. And, the fact is that they're not even going to be able to even touch it because they're probably going to go to jail or something like that. And we don't even know. Maybe Liam's on that chopping block. We don't know if he's part of that investigation. Why do we even trust him? Do we think he's really as separate as he's trying to
Tech knows, though, in this country, people are innocent until proven guilty. I didn't know. You're talking like you didn't know that. I just wanted to chime in and let you know.
Well, one thing that is for sure, and it's unfortunate, that Armand Foley in his campaign has ties to Russia that was threatening us in the LUN owned by Yuri Sevatopol. I'm so sorry, I'm not good with Russian names. Neither should anybody in the United
I
States.
think it's
But our president
Sevastopol.
remains. You said what?
I think it's Sevastopol.
Okay, I see. I see you and your constituents are familiar with the name. But we look forward to dedicating and stopping their foreign interference with our democracy and our government. And it's unfortunate that Armand Foley is actually, taking place in such a thing, siding with Russia in these
Well, to
trying times.
associate with an individual is not a crime, right?
But to associate with an individual who is helping overthrow or get involved in our democracy is a problem. Do you not agree? Do you not believe in democracy?
Huh?
I can answer that question for Liam. I don't think they believe in
Yeah, go ahead.
democracy at all. They believe in bribery. And that's why they're under investigation. That's a really good question, Matrix. I know what they believe in. They believe in bribery. And look, to respond to you, Matrix, look, the notion of innocent until proven guilty, yes, congratulations. Can we give you a big round of applause for, actually displaying some first grade legal knowledge? I mean, seriously, that's not the point here, right? The point is that Armand is a, subpar presidential candidate in the field. He's not going to really
You
win.
come in here and you say no one else has
Excuse me,
specifics, but all I see you doing is shitting on all the other candidates.
I'm speaking. You had your time. You may sit
Okay,
down.
speak.
You
I
had
think
your
this is
time.
an open time, if I'm not
You had your
mistaken.
time. If we're gonna make this
All
a
right,
productive
open time.
discussion,
Open time. Go ahead.
if we're gonna make this a productive discussion, you ought to not interrupt, right? And see, this is the problem, right? You have no record.
Okay,
That's why you're interrupting
instead of
me.
spending time to say that, maybe you could continue speaking.
Okay, let me do that right now. So, look, congratulations on passing the first grade bar. The problem is that, look, we expect in the United States, we expect much more from our presidential candidates. We expect them to be our best of the community. The problem is that Armand is not that. And you want to know why? He's under investigation. And I think the Attorney General is the person you ought to be speaking with, not me.
And one thing I will say, you remind Tech knows are innocent until proven guilty. Not too long ago, you went on national television speaking on Akon saying how,
Well, I had evidence to back my statements.
all right, but he's never been indicted or prosecuted.
Let's see the evidence, Tech. Send her over.
All right, and that video, let's be real, let's be very honest, that video is completely taken out of context. And more than anything, let's go back to our prior points. Crime is good. Without crime, there's no law enforcement. Without law enforcement, there's no crime. No GOJ, no courts, and no laws. Armin can't even stay 2 minutes in game. How is he going to make the community more active? These are the questions we have to ask. We need someone who is willing to speak to the interests of the people and convince them to join the game like Khan. I don't see Armand.
I can answer your question. Mitch, I can answer your question. I can tell you how Armand is going to make this game more active. Bribe everybody. He's going to bribe everybody. Pretty soon, Mitch, he's going to be knocking on your door.
Well, Michael,
like, hey,
I'm going to have to say,
you want to be my
I don't really want to sit here and listen to these two gentlemen slander myself and my running mate. It's not very suited to the decorum of a debate.
You can't handle free speech,
Well,
just like your
this
Twitter
is
account.
this is a free
Man,
speech
you can't
debate,
handle-
and
you
this
can't handle
is
freedom
what
of
a
the
debate
press.
is.
You can't handle free speech. What's next?
Exactly. This is a free debate. Now, this is open for this is freedom for free quorum. You can comment on their running mate as well. You can comment on anyone else's. So you can have a rebuttal. You got a minute. I mean, let's make this count.
Well, Michael, I really can't speak to them continuously spouting falsehoods, but I will say, following the presidential election, I will be seeking legal action, regardless of the outcome.
Okay, this is funny right here. Wait, Mitch, give me a second.
Wow.
Mitch, give me a second. So, look, I have to bring this up, right? I looked through your old tweets, Liam, right? The fact is that you specifically, I'm going to leave Armand for a second, right? The fact that you are going on Twitter and recklessly using your position as a politician to go against news organizations that you don't agree with, this is the behavior of fascist governments, okay? We are a democracy. When you go in, if you win the election, which is going to be a long shot, believe me, with that kind of attitude that you have, but let's say you do win this election, God forbid, right? You go in, you're going to swear an oath on the Bible and the Constitution. And the fact is that you can't even uphold the First Amendment. How are you even going to go further than this? You are literally using your Twitter account to go after news media organizations you don't agree with. Now, look, I understand we all have a name brand. We don't want people saying falsehoods about us, right? So, look, Michael and all of us, we all agree to rules. You can rebut anything that we say at any time. And if you want extra time, you are more than welcome to do that, right? But you can't just sit here and say, "Oh, I'm going to complain about fake news," right? That shows that you're not putting on
Well,
your
I'm
big
not
boy
saying
pants.
that. What I'm saying is what you specifically said prior is slander, and that is not protected under freedoms afforded to you by the Bill of Rights.
Okay, so after you sit down with your deposition for bribery, make sure to bring that up with the Attorney General about that. I'm sure he'll be happy to
Okay.
prosecute that case.
Okay, so let's pause quickly to allow Technozo to rejoin the game because I know he went a little idle. So let's take a quick 30-second break to allow him to come back in, and we'll resume right back to this same question. We'll be right back. Hold on, everybody.
I'm not.
All right, the candidates are back. Go ahead and continue, Technozo.
Okay, so look, we have this guy who's sitting up here, and this gentleman right here. I have a lot of but he is really he's trying to defend really a garbage candidate who is under investigation by the United States Attorney General. Okay, and his only response was innocent until proven guilty. I obviously agree with that because look, I took an oath to the Constitution when I became president, but look, it's just honestly ridiculous. Honestly, we all sat here, we agreed to the rules. Me and Mitch, myself, and you as well, Liam, agreed to the rules of the debate. If you want to respond to any of the allegations you have, you're free to do so at any time. But I do know, Michael, as you know, before the half, we asked Biney Hand, the current incumbent president, we're on a little bit frosty terms, I'm attacking him, but I asked him a simple question. I said, is Armand under investigation right now for his crimes of bribery? He said yes. Okay. Now, this might not amount to anything, right? But again, right, I'm just asking the voters a simple question. I'm not making judgments. I'm just saying, look, we have this guy, he's under investigation. Like, really trust this guy to come in day one? Let me tell you something. If I ask Biney Hand Filipino, am I under investigation? He'd say no. He says yes. I'd ask him why. Like, why am I? Because I didn't do anything.
All right, William, you want to respond to that? William, want to respond to that, and then I'm gonna go to Mitch.
Well, Technozo, I just want to take an analogy and say, if you were under investigation, I would not hold that against you, Technozo, because your crimes have not been proven yet, in the court of law. If you were under investigation right now, Technozo, I wouldn't be out there defaming your character for a crime that you may or may not be convicted of, purportedly. That is all I have to say on the matter.
And you want to know something? The reason why I'm not under investigation is because I never committed a crime. I never did one. What did I do?
Okay, you can say whatever you want, man.
Okay, but listen, I'm just saying, look, you don't get to like over 100 supporters, without bribing people and telling them, hey, you can be sec dev, hey, you can be sec trans, right? Because I know that's what you guys did, And listen, don't be ashamed of it. The U.S. Attorney General is gonna find out. They know.
No, actually, that's not what we did. But I'd welcome
And the thing
anyone
about that,
to look
and the thing
into
about
Go ahead,
that,
Mitch.
the thing
Everybody
about
going
that
open
in
period.
itself is that Technology is not the only one saying this. There's plenty of people going out there. I'm talking about high officials. I'm talking about members. Not gonna get too specific, but members of group management even saying that he's promised positions to certain people. And I don't want to get too delirious here. I don't want to get into the FEC and the rules and everything like that. But let's be honest here. The only way that you can possibly have this much support for a person like Armand Foley is to promise big positions, and it is what it is.
Well, of course you'd explain it away like that, Mitch. Of course you would.
I gotta explain it in a way that's
Mitch, you
easy.
forgot to wait, Mitch. I'm sorry, you forgot to add the cherry on top. 2 sessions in 3 weeks. How can anybody unite behind that? Let me tell you something, if you hosted 1 session or 2 sessions and your entire time as
Mitch
speaker,
doesn't have anything to say. His presidential candidate only hosted 1.
What happened?
Mitch doesn't have anything to say on the matter. His presidential candidate only hosted 1
We can
session.
talk about this.
Okay,
but
this is not about Mitch, though. I'm not asking about Mitch. I'm asking about Armand, right? How does a
Okay,
guy?
I already told you about
Let me
Armand.
ask you
Those
this.
are the facts of the matter. Yes.
I'm gonna ask a rhetorical question. How does a
You do that.
person with 3 weeks, 2 sessions become a leading presidential candidate? And look, the Attorney General, listen, you can keep saying what you want, but look, they have evidence.
Yeah,
You guys
you
are
can keep
offering
saying
like
what you want to, man.
SecDev. You guys are offering the alphabet. Man, I gotta pay for. Hey, Liam, can I pay $5 for a position? Can I be vice presidential candidate? Come on, let's set up a deal. Where you want to meet?
Real quick, I would like to say I'm looking at general chat. I do see Armand Foley in lounge now.
That's right. I want to interrupt you on that because my friends, that's right. My friend in the newsroom over at MSNBC are saying that we may just allow our man to join us in voice on stage here tonight. As I hear that he is driving to the University of Virginia after his event may be over. If that's the case, then we're going to allow our man to come on and join us at the debate. Let's go ahead and see if we can do that. Can we add him in, please? Let's add in our man, Armin. So
While
let's.
we are waiting for Armand Foley, I do want to add something, right? To Liam's rebuttal. All right, Akon. All right, and you say that Mitch can't say anything about the topic because my candidate's done the same thing, which is actually false. And there's a big difference between my candidate and your candidate, right? Akon has written rules, created bots, passed bills, and he can't hold a session if there's nothing pending the floor. Everything pending has been passed and held in session because he's hosted these sessions to get them through the floor, get them passed, and to the President of the United States, right? Listen, I will be entirely real with you, right? The difference is the Senate voted on all the pending items. You're a hypocrite. Akon cannot hold sessions if there's nothing pending. And the truth is that there's things pending the House floor. There's things that your candidate can easily do and host sessions.
Let me interrupt you because I got some news from the Department of Justice. Behan lied on national television to all of us and said that the Department of Justice was pursuing charges against Armand Foley. The Department of Justice is not pursuing any charges at this time against Armand Foley.
You still want to see me in court over that slander, Technozo? I can let you off the hook. I'm good for it. I know you're good.
You're the only one who's going to go to court after they send you a subpoena for that deposition.
I was going to do it before it, man. I told you this. I said this 10 minutes ago.
You have a deposition tomorrow. I saw on your calendar you got a deposition tomorrow. You're going to show, or are you going to skip? You going to skip?
Is this more lies?
This is not lies. What are you talking about?
Well, you did the same thing about Armin, man. You said Armin was under indictment, and he's not. So how can you honestly stand here and expect the American people to be able to believe anything you say?
Well, look,
Well,
we
listen, in
had
all
Bonnie and
fairness,
Filipino said that Armand is under investigation. I confused the legal words, and for that, I'm a little sorry for that. But the reality is that look, we expect higher standards. The fact that you guys are
We do.
sitting jobs,
Yeah, you should
and
hold
again,
yourself
right?
to them.
Look, you want my $5,000? Can I be VP candidate tomorrow if I pay Armand 5,000?
You know that's not gonna.
he would
You're like,
likely get
beat
it.
me up. Come on, let's go. Let's do it. You want me to up the
No.
price? I'll make it $10,000.
Good
Listen,
for
I bet
you.
he's I bet Techno. I bet he's DMing you right now saying he'll give you sec def if you just be quiet.
wow.
Mitch, I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing that.
Yeah.
And
Is
this is
this
what
what
he's
this
doing again.
debate has devolved to? There's no genuine material, so both of you have resorted to throwing shade at me? Really? Yeah. Laugh it up. Hilarious.
This is so funny. You can't even
Do
put on
we
your
have
big boy
any
pants.
specifics? I know you like that word, Techno. So any specifics? Do we want to get any specific plans, or are you just going to keep shitting on me? Really?
I do have specific plans.
Let's hear them.
I proposed the draft. You didn't respond to that. You just said, "Oh, this is a
That's
bad
old
idea."
news.
Tell
Let's
me how
hear
it's a
some
bad
more.
idea.
That's what this debate's for. It's not for us to sit here and have a temper tantrum at each other, right? Do you
You're
have
the one
no
who's having a temper
discord,
tantrum.
man?
You literally said that we should have anti-free speech laws against the Constitution that you
I
might have to
didn't
swear on.
actually. I said group management should consider the FEC, the federal, or the FCC, the Federal
Oh, so
Communications
you're
Commission.
confusing the alphabet agencies. Did you offer somebody an FE job? Is that why you confused them?
Oh, whatever, man.
I mean,
Any questions, Michael?
This is
I want
Michael.
I want you all to continue talking. Yeah, go ahead.
Michael. I just have to say again, right? How does somebody with 3 weeks, 2 sessions, have over 100 supporters in his bank account? And the answer is he's gobbling them up. He's offering them jobs, right? And this is a big major news story. This could be a big scandal, right? Honestly, and that's why Bineyhan was here. Look, they might not be bringing charges this hour. But hey, next hour, we don't know. They might be knocking on Liam's door. As I don't have access to Liam's DMs, but Liam could certainly enlighten us.
Okay. Very interesting point. So Ahmed has not is stuck in some traffic. He'll be here maybe about 30 minutes or maybe not. I'm not sure if he's coming, but we'll see. Let's just continue this open discussion period. Let's move to some different things. Let's talk about track records because I want to talk about that. What makes you the best candidate to be president of the United States? Start with you, Technozen.
Well, thank you so much, and it's really interesting. I always reflect on my time as new president, and it was such an amazing goal. We brought in good governance after the disaster of the reset president. Look, he's a nice guy, but president wasn't really his thing. We brought in good governance. The American voters want that, right? Now, look, we need somebody who's going to come in, energize the base. I offered specifics. I said we should have a draft. We should do remind. We should do all these kind of things to bring the activity up. My opponents are not only dismissing these ideas, they're calling me crazy. And their best ideas, the most specific ideas I've heard from any of the candidates so far is to literally censor people's free speech. At a time when we need more news organization, more activity, we see the opposite because they can't put on their big boy pants. Look, people said false things about me. I didn't like it. But you know what? I respect their rights to say it. And that's because I believe in the First Amendment to the Constitution. And guess what, Liam? Our Constitution has lasted longer than any other country's Constitution. So beat that.
Okay.
Mitch.
Mitch, respond to that, please. I want to go ahead. What makes you the best choice, Mitch?
Respectfully, of course, I'm not running for the presidency, but I will be running for the vice presidency.
You know what I'm saying.
But what I will say is, given my experience, and I believe all of you guys are familiar with my experience, not only in NUSA, but and Nusa and so on, and so forth. I held the highest office in the land at one point. But if we are going back, really back far, all the way back to Nusa, skipping Ridgeway and everything else, at one point I was aide to the president in so many cases. I was the president's right hand man. I did a lot of stuff the president actually did, and my ability to lead in itself is far higher than any other candidate here. Aside from or on the same equal level as Technozo, I believe so. And as for Khan, who's actually going to be the president, with my expertise in leading and also, being his aide, Khan, of course, will make bots for all department agencies and courts to automate stuff and make the group active. He'll make sure technology is implemented to make a bridge between Discord and Roblox to truly revolutionize our community and integrate it with Roblox. His record in the Senate speaks for itself, and I would also like to highlight now how your candidate, by your candidate, I'm speaking to Armand, wherever you may be listening, sir, your presidential candidate, he's shown how corrupt he is with that amendment that he's made as the Senate majority leader.
What now?
Let's talk about how you took majority by caucusing and proposed a bill to get rid of the ability to change caucus and reduce minority seats in the Senate.
Well, yeah, let's talk about it, Mitch, because I proposed that bill prior to being majority leader, and it reduces, well, it doesn't reduce anything. 21 is the number of senators, Mitch, and in that same amendment, it proposes to create another committee. So you need to divide 21 not by 2, but by 3, and then you need to split it between a majority and a minority, and obviously, one has less than the other.
Respectfully, you proposed it when you were becoming the leader of the majority. It reduces minority assignments to minorities. You realize that?
It
So
also
as the majority leader,
no,
as
it also
wait,
also reduces the
let me finish,
okay,
let me
finish,
finish.
finish. I'm
My
trying to
brother, you're
answer
gonna
your
let me
question.
finish.
You just asked me, but
No,
by all
no, no,
God,
no.
finish.
I'm just asking that you let me finish before you try and attempt to answer my question. Is that all right?
Okay,
All right, so
let
I
me
will
Mitch,
finish.
you know why it's not all right? It's because he wants to censor. Again, this is
Yeah.
another one of these disastrous policies we're coming out of
just like
Liam's
he
mouth.
wants to censor the press and free speech.
You're gonna finish the question, or you're just gonna slander
Yes,
me?
of course. I would. No, it's not slander. Listen, slander is
Whatever.
far
I
from anything
think
I've
I
said.
understand the
You
definition,
realize
but by all
slander
Wait,
God.
Mitch. Wait,
ensues
Mitch.
that I'm
Mitch.
telling a
Mi-
lie,
Mitch.
correct?
Mitch, give me a second. Liam, $10 if you don't say the word slander for the rest of the debate. All right.
Okay, I'll say defame, libel. Those are good.
Take those words out.
No, no, no. You already bet me. Sorry.
$10 for all those words.
No, no. I'll go for 30 though. 30. Raise it to 30.
Oh, I can't match that. Maybe your guys for SecDev can.
As I was saying, right? You took the majority, and then you made something. You made a resolution so that specifically you would keep the majority for whatever amount of time. You tried to reduce the power of a minority as soon as you were becoming a part of the majority. Do you not see
This
how
is a
corrupt that is?
statement, not a question. Is there a question in this?
Right? But am I lying? No. And before you
You
answer,
are.
sorry,
I'd like
I
I'd like
apologize.
to tell you
All
how
right,
if you'd
all right,
let
all
me.
right.
You know?
I can show definitive proof that what you are saying is 100% incorrect.
Do it. Go by all God. Go ahead. I know what I wrote. I wrote it.
I
Right?
will do so and send to Michael A.R. Smith so
Well,
he
you
can
said
put
you
it on the
said that
screen
with the
for all
last
of the
thing,
viewers, my
man. You
friend.
said that with
No,
the
no, no, no,
last
no,
thing
no,
that
no,
you said
because that's
that
because we were
proposed.
moving topics. Don't do me. Don't do me, my brother. Don't do me, my brother.
What?
Okay. All right. What makes you the best choice? Okay. So, why should people vote for you? Why? Well, I'm gonna stem away from that question. I want to ask all of you. Are you competent to be president? Are you? What makes you a competent choice to be president? I'll start with you, Mitch. Well, your running mate. Your running mate to
Yeah.
be president. Go ahead.
All right. I kind of alluded to this. But oh, by the way, Michael, if you would check your DMs, I sent you that that document I promised you, that screenshot I promised you.
Right.
And as for everything else,
Yeah.
sorry, like I alluded to before when I was calling for this question, um, with my former experience as leader of a country, leader of a county, um, as head of multiple different agencies and aide de camp to the president, uh, this should really be an easy election. Akon, I believe after this debate, truthfully, Armand has shown, and not only Armand, but clearly his vice presidential candidate on his ticket have shown that they are not prepared to be in the White House. They're not prepared to win this election. They're not prepared to do what is necessary to be the next vice president and president of the United States. And like I said before, I believe that Armand is a great candidate to be the next president of the United States, but he loves the spotlight. He can't handle being in the shadows. Like I said, I think he's a great runner for the president, but he's not fit to be the president. If he were to win the presidency, he would be nothing more than a fraud.
Mitch,
Go ahead.
I take issue with that statement. He's not great at running for the presidency. He's he I've literally been in this race for less than a week and I am in second. And also, I didn't bribe anybody. I didn't offer any jobs to any people, and I'm not under investigation. But look, Michael, going back to your earlier question, you asked why I'm a competent person for the president. Look, NUSA voters overwhelmingly approved of my policies and my actions, me as a president, okay? Joe Biden could actually take some lessons in governance that I promoted, right? Let's look at this from the perspective of what we have right now. We have a lame duck president, right? He's merged into Mitch's campaign. I don't have anything against Mitch, but I have against, Bayan. Like, what is he doing? We have all these crises around the world, AR, LA. What is he doing? Not doing anything. And, look, again, 3 weeks, 2 sessions.
When's
Is that
my
the best
time,
we can
Michael?
do? Let's do better, honestly, than that.
Yeah, it's
Embarrassing.
open time, open
And-
rebuttal time.
And I've been
okay.
sitting here throughout this entire debate, and
Let me know
I-
when you're done.
I've literally heard I'm literally, and it's really coming to my boiling point. I'm literally hearing people here in this call trying to justify garbage to me. It's almost as if your parents were there and, you guys being the kids are trying to justify, hey, mommy, I have a 200 credit score. They would slap you in the face. But that's exactly what we have, okay? We have to talk candidly about the issues. Be honest with it. A 200 credit score is not, honestly. And what I'm seeing here is we're trying to justify garbage in this debate. We're not presenting specifics. The opponents, at least, have not been presenting specifics or even defending their track record. I'm sitting here. I have specifics. I presented a platform. And that's what I'm going to do as president, honestly. I'm going to be dedicated to this group.
Can I get a word in?
Yes, this is going to be one of our final questions, and then we're going to move into final closing statements before Americans vote in less than at about 15 minutes now. Go ahead.
Well, speaking for myself, aside from the what experience I have in the NUSA Senate, a good 18 months, I'll speak not for Armin, but to what the American people don't see him doing. You won't see Armin committing crimes in LA. And you, most definitely, won't see Armin going around spreading falsehoods about his political opponents.
All right. Thank you,
Might
William.
not go around spreading crime in LA, but he sure does go around spreading crime in them DMs. FEC violations all day.
All right.
Can you type that somewhere and DM me it so I can sue you for slander? Because it really is.
I think
Go
the
ahead,
vice
Tech.
president.
You have 10 seconds, and then we're going to move
Wait.
to final statements. Go ahead.
Wait, Michael, can I just say something? It's
Hey,
like
go ahead.
just as a fun fact, like the president and the vice president get their outfits fitted for. I think Liam Shusai is probably too smart for that, given the way he's behaving on issues like. I don't even think that the people who are designing the outfits would give him a proper outfit during the behavior. But look, going to the closing, right? I'm pleased to announce that I'll be merging with Akon and Matrix campaign. I believe that we have to focus on taking down the inactivity and taking on the establishment. And that's why I'm really supporting their campaign and really getting behind them.
Wow. So
And-
please confirm something for us. I just want to say this because this is really big news. What a shakeup in the last minute. You are merging with the Akon campaign.
Yes, I am. And look, we need active leadership. We cannot just be look. I have. First of all, I want to say something. I'm gonna keep this nice, right?
Yeah.
I have respect for, wait, hold on. I have respect for everybody on this call. Liam was a good guy in the Senate. I have a lot of respect for him. Same with Armand. He was president. I was president when he joined News. Very nice guy. But look, we cannot be promoting people with bad track records. I'm a person of morals and principles.
Well,
and that's
you're
why
behind a
I'm
candidate
pleased-
who's a criminal.
Excuse me. I am pleased to announce my support for Mitch Matrix and Akon artists for the presidency of the United States.
Cool.
It's a pleasure to
Okay.
have you, Techno.
Thank you so much. Okay, William, your final statement as we close tonight.
Well, there's a lot of hypocrisy and irony in everything Technozo stood here and said with a straight face to the American people, and then obviously he proved that talk is very cheap when he turned around and proved via actions that his talk was, for the most part, bullshit, Michael. And now he's standing behind someone he claims is a great leader who also has a pending indictment or pending investigation by the FBI Criminal Investigative Division. And that I can prove.
Okay, let me ask a question to you, Technozo. If you're merging, what are you going to become in the Akon administration? What are you going to be a part of the administration? Are you going to be a part of the campaign in some way, or are you just kind of dissolving from the group?
Well, look, I'm right now. All I can say is I'm pleased to be joining Mitch. Mitch is a great guy. I've known him for years. He's actually part of the reasons I became president. Supported Reset's impeachment. So it's pretty nice. Hey, listen, Mitch is a really nice guy. I'm pleased to support this guy. He's like a brother to me for what he did. Honestly, it was a good experience. So, look, I'm pleased to support him. They give me a position, I don't care. He's a nice guy, and that's why I'm supporting him. He's the most qualified person in this race,
Absolutely. And I want to thank all the candidates. You all have been so great. You have been great to this network. All of you all have been really great. And I want to say to everyone watching, we thank you for your viewership here at MSNBC, and we never, ever take your viewership for granted. Thank you so much for watching tonight's presidential debate live from the University of Virginia. Thank you for watching this wonderful, wonderful debate. We thank you for watching. We thank you for your continued viewership and support of this network. Have a great evening. And I want to remind everyone, stay tuned for the Today Show with Michael Smith, myself, and my co-host, Sheev Palpatine, which will be live tomorrow on Saturday to break down the latest information on the election, which will be in full swing tomorrow. That's right. And it ends on Sunday at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to get out and vote if you haven't already. Elections begin in 9 minutes. That's right. Elections begin in 9 minutes. Get out and get ready to vote. This has been a great debate. Have a great evening from the University of Virginia. Have a great night, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow for the Today Show.